Hi, this is King of Review. Simplify 1.52, and 2 has a repeating bar on top. So if we expand this, we get 1.52, and because the 2 has the repeating bar, the 2 is repeated over and over again, and this continues. This is a repeating decimal. So what I want to do here is write this repeating decimal as a series of terms, which will be an infinite geometric series that we will add up, and we'll add it up using the equation for the sum of an infinite geometric series. So let's take a look at this first portion, which is the non-repeating portion of this decimal. So this non-repeating portion is 1.5. That part doesn't repeat. And now let's look at the repeating portion of this repeating decimal. So it starts here with this 2. We're going to let this be our first term in this series. So we have A1, which is the first term, is equal to this 2 here. How do we write this 2? It would be 0.02. So this is our first term. And now for the second term of the repeating portion of this decimal is this 2 here. So this will be our second term, so A2. How do we represent this 2? We'll write this as 0.002. And next we want to represent this 2 here. How do we represent this 2? It will be our third term. So 0.0002. And this continues. We keep going because this is an infinite geometric series here. Now we want to find the sum of these. So we want to add up all of these values. This will give us a sum. And how do we find the sum? We have an equation for the sum of an infinite geometric series, and this is S equals A1 over 1 minus R. This is the sum of an infinite geometric series with the first term being A1 and the common ratio of R. So now we need to find out what R is. So this sum, S equals A1 over 1 minus R, that represents this portion of the decimal, the repeating portion, but we still need to add in this 1.5. Because this portion was the non-repeating portion of this decimal. So this part here represents the repeating portion, and this 1.5 is the initial part of this decimal that does not repeat. So again, we need to find this R value in order to fill out our equation here. So R, which is the common ratio, is equal to a term divided by the previous term. So we can choose A2 divided by its previous term, which is A1. This would give us A2, which is 0.002, divided by A1, which is 0.02. And when you divide these, you get 0.1. So the common ratio is 0.1. Now you could also figure out R using other terms. So you could choose A5 over its previous term, which is A4. As long as the numerator is one term and the denominator is its previous term, then you will get the correct value for R. So now let's fill out our equation here. So we have the sum equals A1. A1 is this first term, which is 0.02 over 1 minus R. And we solved for R here, so minus 0.1. This equals 0.02 over 0.9. And I'm going to multiply both the top and bottom here by 100 to get rid of the decimals. So this equals 2 over 90. So we have 2 over 90, and this represents this repeating portion, the sum of the repeating portion. And now we need to add in this 1.5, which was the initial non-repeating portion. So let's write 1.5 as a fraction. So we have 2 over 90 plus 3 halves. And when we're adding fractions, we need to come up with an LCD. So in this case, the LCD is 90. So we have 2 over 90 plus 135 over 90. And this gives us 137 over 90. So this is a way to simplify this repeating decimal here. Letter A is correct. Thanks for watching.